Hello and welcome back to the Rainbow Library. Today I'm going to show you all the books that I currently have checked out from my library. So starting off with the two that I'm currently reading, we have Invisible Kingdom Volume 2 by G. Willow Wilson and Christian Ward. I read the first volume of this in, I believe, one sitting, and so I wanted to take this one a little bit slower because I don't think the third volume is out yet. But I'm really enjoying this story, and I'm curious to see where it goes because it's kind of difficult to predict what's going to happen. So I'll just show you a sample of the art here. Yep. All right, and the other one that I'm currently reading is Pornified, How Pornography is Transforming Our Lives, Our Relationships, and Our Families by Pamela Paul. And this is a nonfiction. So it's kind of interesting because the author is, it seems like the author is kind of building up towards an anti-pornography approach. And she's definitely writing it through a feminist lens, kind of saying that, you know, the negative impacts on women outweigh any positive aspects of porn. So that's kind of interesting. I might want to do a review on that one because I feel like there's a lot to talk about there. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now. Yeah. So now moving on to the ones that I haven't even started yet. So first we have 100 Boyfriends by Brontez Purnell. This is a more recent release. I think it came out like a month or two ago, maybe. And this is, I believe, like slice of life short stories. And I know that it's very queer, and I think a lot of the main characters are people of color as well. So it's also very, it's a pretty short book. It's less than 200 pages. And I think it's going to be very interesting, and it's probably going to give me a lot to think about. So I'm looking forward to getting to this one. Next we have A Kiss of Shadows by Laurell K. Hamilton. I know basically nothing about this. I believe it has some polyamorous elements to it, and it's a paranormal romance of some kind. And yeah, that's about all I know. Next we have The Cold Vanish, Seeking the Missing in North America's Wildlands by John Billman. So this is about people who have gone missing out in nature, and this sounds really interesting to me and also a little bit scary. But I heard about this on a Book Riot podcast when it was first coming out, and I knew that I wanted to read it, so I requested that my library purchase a copy of it, and it took a while to get in. I think it was maybe back ordered or something like that, and it took a while to get in, so I finally have it, and hopefully I'm going to get to that one soon. We have Star-Crossed by Barbara D. So this is like a middle grade story, and the two main characters are female, and they are playing Romeo and Juliet in their school's play, and then they end up discovering that they have an attraction for each other. And so I'm very interested to read that because I don't think I've read many queer middle grade stories. I think I've read, oh gosh, what was that one called? Something About Dragonflies by Kaysen Callender. King and the Dragonflies, maybe, something like that. And I think that's really the only queer middle grade story that I've read. So I'm looking forward to Star-Crossed. Next I have Good Sex, Getting Off Without Checking Out by Jessica Graham. So one of my coworkers actually found this in our library catalog, and we both immediately were like, yeah, this sounds interesting. So we both checked it out. And I haven't started it yet, but I always enjoy a good sex education book. I think it's important, and we definitely don't get enough of it in public education, so there's that. Next, I have this Library of America bind-up of 4 novels by Philip K. Dick. The Man in the High Castle, The 3 Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and Ubik. So I've been wanting to read Philip K. Dick for about a month maybe, and so I checked this out, and I'm probably not going to get to The 3 Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch, but I definitely want to give a try to at least 2 of the other ones, probably Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep and Ubik. Although The Man in the High Castle sounds really interesting as well. For those of you who don't know, Philip K. Dick is a science fiction, and mostly science fiction, but I guess you might be able to call it fantasy as well, writer, and a lot of his works have been turned into film adaptations. Like Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which is in this bind-up, was turned into the movie Blade Runner, which was a movie that I didn't really enjoy at first, but the more that I thought about it after I saw it, I kind of appreciated it more. So, yeah, I definitely want to give a try to a couple of his books. Next, I have Three's Company, which is a romance anthology by Laurell James, Jess D, and Jane Rylon. I've never heard of any of these authors. The 3 stories in here are called A Question of Trust, Nice and Naughty, and Wicked Garden. And as you can tell by the cover and the title, they deal with group interactions. Let's just leave it at that. So next I have a few graphic novels. First I have Library Wars Volume 1, Love and War. And this is a shoujo beat manga. So the federal government creates a committee to rid society of books, and then there's a library defense force who has to protect them. So that sounds really interesting, kind of like a Fahrenheit 451 almost. Next I have Volume 7 of Stephen McCranie's Spaceboy. I've talked about this series quite a bit on this channel. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to getting to this next volume. Volume 2 of Rex Libris by James Turner, and this volume is titled Book of Monsters. I talked about this one in a couple of videos as well when I read the first volume, so I'm not going to go into too much detail with that one. Next I have Daredevil Volume 1 in the Chip Zdarsky run. And I believe this is the run that's still currently being published in single issues. And I heard something about, minor spoilers I guess, I heard something about Elektra becoming the new Daredevil or something like that. And Elektra is actually one of my favorite comic characters, and I really like the movie Elektra. I liked it a lot more when I was a kid, and I watched it recently, and I didn't love it quite as much, but I still enjoyed it a lot. But when I heard that, I already like Daredevil as well, but I like Elektra even more. And so when I heard that, I thought I should give this run a try. And of course that doesn't happen until later on, so I have quite a few volumes before that would even happen. But yeah, I wanted to at least give this series a try and see if I enjoy it, because I've never read a Daredevil comic before. And last but not least, I have Miles Morales Spider-Man Volume 3 by Saladin Ahmed, and this one is titled Family Business. So I've been slowly catching up to where this series is with its current publication of single issues, and I'm really excited because Miles is definitely my favorite comic book character at this point, and I love him a lot. I know he's not real, but I would die for him. I would. So those are all the things that I've checked out from my library currently. It's way too many. I definitely need to settle down and read, because all of these sound super good to me, and I just haven't had a lot of time between school and work. But hopefully, I'm taking less classes this summer, so hopefully I'll be able to get some reading done in the next couple weeks here with the semester wrapping up. So I'm really looking forward to all of these, and yeah, let me know what you're reading currently down below. If you've read any of these, if you want to read any of these, anything polite that you would like to comment, I will be happy to read it and reply to it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.